Even though Lee Dong Wook is in his 40s, his face still looks young. He made his acting debut in 1999 and got his first hit stardom with the 2005 romantic comedy My Girl. He became one of the most famous actors in South Korea ever since. He had reached a busy point in his career after the popularity of his hit drama Goblin, where he played a grim reaper. Although he's been on screen for over 20 years, there are still some facts that you may not know about. So we gathered 10 fun facts about Lee Dong Wook. He has a superstition. Once when he was talking about the topic of jinxes on his radio show, a listener wrote in to say that every time they wore pink slacks, something bad happened. Lee Dong Wook shared his own superstition and said that if his hair doesn't look right on the first try when he is preparing to shoot his scenes on set, he will feel like something will go wrong that day, so he will try to be calmer on days like that. He wasn't able to feel the popularity of Goblin. Successfully played the role of a grim reaper in the hit drama Goblin, he had reached a busy point in his career. According to Nielsen Korea, the finale episode of Goblin achieved a peak rating of 20.5% and set a new record for the highest viewership ratings in TVN history at that time. Lee Dong Wook shared with W Korea, "At the time, honestly, I wasn't able to really feel how popular Goblin was. While the show was on, I was just so busy filming. It wasn't just me that was like that, many other actors would have been the same way." He explained that once the show was done, he suddenly had a huge amount of work lined up, such as advertisements and photo shoots. He was too immersed in his character in Strangers from Hell. In an interview with W Korea, he talked about the effect of playing his character So Moon-jo in the drama Strangers from Hell. He shared that when he'd first begun the drama, he'd thought to himself that he shouldn't get too immersed in the character. There are a lot of villains in the drama, but So Moon-jo was someone who not only controlled others, he also had a different vibe to him than other villains. Lee Dong Wook shared that he'd purposely done less preparation for the work because he wanted to immerse in the character only to a certain degree. He said, "When the drama was over, I thought that I was okay. However, there were times when I was drinking with friends or acquaintances, and even if all I did was look at them once, they'd say, 'Why are you looking at me like that?' I looked in the mirror one day, and I didn't feel like I was looking at myself, I had a peculiar and unfamiliar feeling instead. So I thought, I'm not totally okay." He struggles to break. A good actor knows he has to become the character he is playing to a very real extent, and we all know that he has played some very dark characters. There have been times in his life when he's not been okay following a role because he's immersed himself so much into the character that he did become them for a time. He had to find himself and his way back to himself, and that's been difficult at times. In an interview, Lee Dong Wook said, "I've been doing this job since 1999. I've stayed up countless nights and worked countless brutal schedules. There was a time when I became afraid of doing dramas because it meant staying up nights for 4 months in a row. It's really difficult to live for that long with 2 or 3 hours of sleep a night. As the system changed, actors could rest for about 1 day per week and sleep about 6 or 7 hours a night. It's not just the actors, but also the production staff got some breathing room. I think that this is a good development." He's an Olympic ambassador. It's not like we don't all know how hard it is to get to the Olympics. Whether you are an athlete or a fan, it's not easy to get in there. However, it's something really entertaining and interesting when you're asked to be an ambassador of the sports event that the world watches. Lee Dong Wook was just that in 2018 for the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics, and we imagine that it was a very cool experience for him. He's also an ice hockey fan and participates in tournaments with his local hockey team. Once he invited 1,000 of his fans from his fan club to watch the ice hockey match between Czech Republic and Japan with him and spent an estimated $10,000 on tickets for them. His hobby is to do nothing. During his free time, he likes playing games on his phone, eating snacks, and generally staying in. He shared in an interview, "My real hobby is to do nothing but watching movies by myself, listening to music. That's it." He is a huge comic fan. On a past episode of variety show Taxi, he revealed that he owned more than 200 comic books across all genres, including sports and rom-com. He fell in love with comics when he was a child, but wasn't able to read as many as he wanted due to his family finances. When he grew up and was financially stable, he fulfilled his childhood dream by buying whatever he wanted and ended up with a huge collection. He enjoys working out. The actor shared with W Korea that in the past he had been burdened by a sense of duty over having to take care of his family and other responsibilities, so he hadn't been able to take care of himself, but this changed around 5 years ago. He said, "Now, for my own sake, I've started to want to do things that I personally want to do and enjoy doing." After spending time figuring out just what those things are, he realized that he enjoys working out. Like with fishing, I can spend 2 to 3 hours completely on myself without thinking about anything. In life, usually you don't get back what you put in, but with exercise, you get back what you put in. I really like that. His lips are naturally that red. Fans have been continually amazed at how this actor's lips are always cherry red and were curious to find out what his secrets of having such red lips were. In his popular drama Goblin, many viewers were shocked at how the actor's lips always appeared bright red. Some believed that his lips were red because he wore lip tint. He then explained that his lips have always been bright red since childhood. He even went to an oriental doctor and was told that his lips could be that color because he has a lot of heat in his body. His ideal type is someone whom he can rely on. Lee Dong Wook has mentioned many times that when it comes to his ideal type, being able to communicate easily with someone is more important to him than the person's appearance. On a talk show, he revealed more and said that besides having the same sense of humor as him, his partner should also be someone whom he can rely on and can console him when he is going through a tough time.